Chapter 7. Ready, Wiggloff? Eric called as he hurried towards the gatehouse. Wiggloff was bent over, trying to fix a wobbly wheel on the horde cart. He glanced up and was nearly blinded by the glare from Eric's sleighing outfit. Eric stood proudly before him in a gleaming silver helmet. He carried a broad silver shield, and a wide silver belt held his sword. Wiggloff had only Sure-Kill. What fine gear, Wiggloff told Eric. Yes, Eric agreed. I sent away for it from Sir Lancelot Fan Club catalog. Come on. You shall pull the cart as Mordred said. Let us be off. My sword is itching to slay the dragon. Wiggloff began to slide back the great iron bolt on the gatehouse door. But a yell from Eric made him stop. Boar! Eric cried. Wild boar! Wiggloff turned to see Eric with his sword drawn and his shield up. Stand back, Eric shouted. I shall slay the charging beast. What beast? Wiggloff asked. Then he spotted something running towards them across the castle yard. It was Daisy. Eric, stop! Wiggloff shouted. Stop! That is my own pick, Daisy. Eric stopped and glumly lowered his sword. He jammed it back into his scabbard and stomped off, grumbling. Wiggloff ran to Daisy. Igloff way, she squealed. Egte ime itchway alye. I cannot, Daisy, Wiggloff said sadly. He squatted down beside her and scratched her bristly ears. It's too dangerous, for I am off to hunt a dragon. Orzalgay? Daisy's voice trembled. Wiggloff nodded. Who knows? Perhaps I shall return a hero. He tried to smile. But if I do not, he gulped. If I do not return, I am sure Frypot will take good care of you. Now, I must go. Farewell, best pig in the world. Airwell Fay Igloff way, Daisy called after him. Udgay Ucklay. Wiggloff waved and hurried back to the gatehouse. Then he picked up the cart handle. Let us be off, Eric, he said to Eric. Wiggloff and Eric followed the trail down the hill from Dragonslayer's Academy. Then they headed north on Huntsman's Path. They walked beside the swampy river all afternoon. Strange birds cried out from the stunted trees along the way. Hairy-legged spiders dropped down on them from overhanging branches. Once an angry troll threatened them with his club. But Wiggloff was not afraid. The thought of facing Gorzel was so terrifying that nothing else bothered him. Well, almost nothing. I shall slay Gorzel, no problem, Eric announced for the 200th time. I shall plunge my sword into his throat. I shall twist it. Buckets of blood will gush from the dragon's steaming wound. Then I shall, Wiggloff broke in finally. My sword was made for dragon slaying, too. That bent-up old thing? Eric sneered. Wiggloff nodded. A wizard gave it to me, he explained. When I say magic words, it will leap from my hand and obey. Eric looked doubtful. And just what are the magic words? The wizard had forgotten, Wiggloff mumbled. It matters not, Eric scoffed as they came to a fork in Huntsman's Path. One path led to the village of Toenail, the other into the dark forest. For I shall slay this dragon with my own silvery sword. I shall cut Gorzel into ribbons. Suddenly, Eric stopped talking. He stared at the blackened leaves of a nearby shrub. Behold, he cried, this bush is scorched. Wiggloff bent down to take a closer look. So it is, he agreed. Could it be from the hot breath of a dragon? How could it not? And look here, Eric pointed to the ground. Footprints. Wiggloff stared at a huge three-toed print in the path in front of them. My, but these footprints are large, he exclaimed. Come, Eric said. They will lead us to Gorzel's cave. Hark, he announced. What noise is that? Wiggloff listened. Sounds like someone's crying. The sound grew louder. Then a boy and girl about Wiggloff and Eric's age came along on the path from Toenail. Tears streamed down their cheeks. What ails you, good travelers? Eric called to them. And how can we help? Alackaday, the boy wailed. You cannot help us. No one can. My sister Zelda and I are on our way to Gorzel's cave. Do you mean, Wiggloff began, that you are the son and daughter of the village? That you are to be Gorzel's breakfast? Zelda nodded. I fear it is so. The Toenail village masters held a lottery, and alas, Gawain and I won. If only a brave knight could slay Gorzel and save us, Gawain asked, but there is no hope of that. Eric yanked his sword from the scabbard and held it high in the air. Fear not, young friends, he cried. Eric the Dragon Slayer is at your service. Gawain and Zelda stared at him. You? Zelda said. Eric nodded. But you are a boy. But you are but a boy, she scoffed. Eric sniffed. I am first in my class at Dragonslayer's Academy, he replied. I shall slay Gorzel no sweat. Do you know how many brave knights have tried and perished in his flames? Gawain asked. No, but Eric began. Gorzel will toast you like a marshmallow, Zelda declared. Unless, she added, you come up with a clever plan. A plan? Wiglaf said. What kind of change clothes with us? Zelda cut in. Disguise yourselves as the son and the daughter of Toenail and watch Gorzel and catch Gorzel off guard. At first, Eric looked doubtful. Then he began to smile. Yes, he exclaimed, I can see it now. At dawn, we shall appear at the mouth of Gorzel's cave, dressed in your clothing. Gorzel will never suspect that behind my back I have a sword. When the dragon opens his jaws to eat me, I shall whip out my sword and plunge it deep into his throat. His whole body will shudder and... But Eric, Wiglaf broke in, how can one of us pass for a daughter of the village? But Eric was already taking off his helmet. Worry not, Wiglaf, he said. Just be quick and give your tunic to Gawain. Here, Zelda, take my Sir Lancelot armor. Eric handed the girl his helmet and chainmail. As soon as we are dressed in their clothes, Eric told Wiglaf, we shall go thorward and carry out our plan.